Welcome, friends and enemies. Whether I have a +2 or +1 faction rating with you, or a -1 or a -2, if we're all outright hostile, you are still welcome here to tonight's edition of Blood and Blades on the Stream of Blood. What is the Stream of Blood? It's a tabletop role-playing game actual play channel where I, the game master, Jared Logan, did I say my name, run my favorite people, actors, writers, comedians, impresarios, raconteurs, through various tabletop role-playing campaigns. What is Blood and Blades? Well, thank you so much for asking. Blood and Blades is our game of Blades in the Dark, the fantastic game by John Harper and Evil Hat Studios. Guys, this is the new game. This is the new, can I say the new hotness? I'm going to say it. This is the new hot. I can't? Okay. This is a really great game. If you are a Dungeons & Dragons 5e player, or you play some of the other role-playing games that are out there that are also, of course, very good, you really need to try Blades in the Dark or something in the Forged in the Dark series. They have a couple different types of games that run on this rule system because they change everything. This game is a game changer. Guys, tonight, one of my favorite crews is up against, frankly, perilous odds. We have many crews in a shared Blades in the Dark universe. The crews are criminal crews who try to run various crime jobs in a sort of fantasy steampunk city called Duskfall. And they cross paths sometimes. They meet some of the same NPCs that are out in the city. And tonight we are dealing with one of my favorites, the Kenahora. The Kenahora, portrayed with aplomb by our friends at the Better Than Heroes stream. Better Than Heroes, you should check out. I believe it's still on Monday nights. These guys can correct me if I'm wrong. That is their Spelljammer setting for 5e. You can check out Better Than Heroes on Twitch as well. But tonight they're going to be portraying criminals in our city of Duskfall, but not just any criminals. These criminals have a purpose. They have a cause. They are trying to help the embattled refugees of Skovland survive night to night in the city of Duskfall and steal back their legacy. And it's been a really interesting story so far. Tonight, they have a gigantic, world-shattering, possibly, challenge ahead of them. There is a demon rising. There are many, way more powerful factions involved, and this little zero-tier crew of shadows is going to try to save the world. And that is the kind of stream I like to run. Let's bring in our incredible cast. He is really funny, an incredible artist. You should check out his stuff on Better Than Heroes. And he plays Moonboy on Better Than Heroes. Here he plays Poor Violet, the whisper of the Kenahora. Please welcome your friend and mine, Jordan Dahl. Hello! You're muted, my friend, I think. Is it me?
I think I did the same thing last time. Hello!
Hello! How are
I'm
you?
Terrified is how I am.
Look,
we shouldn't have did this. We shouldn't have did any of this.
You guys can survive it. Just be careful.
Okay.
Play smart, and use those resistance rolls. Remember those rolls that we didn't use for the first 4 sessions? Okay,
Yes.
Let's use them now.
I'm going to use them.
Okay, great.
I want to use one now.
Okay, well, we're not. Okay, you go ahead and roll some dice if you want. It's not going to mean anything right now.
I'll save it.
Okay, cool. I'm going to bring in your next player. We've got a full deck of Kenahora tonight. This guy is so fantastic. He is the owner. His character is the owner of Drakk's Books, the hideout of the Kenahora. He plays Elazar Drakkher, an old man who likes to study and I think drink tea and talk to other old men on the corner he plays chess with, which is my favorite kind of criminal, and he's my favorite kind of player. Please welcome the very funny, very talented Mr. Aaron Urist.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm thrilled to be back. I'm so
Elazar's
excited to play this game.
Yes, I mean it's such a great game, and I just have such a good time every time I play it because it like forces you to improvise. And as a game master, it's always more fun when I'm surprised by what happens. But Elazar, he's kind of an old man. Do you think he's got this might be a very how do I want to put this, aerobic score tonight? Do you think he's going to have some troubles?
Maybe he can sort of play it out on the sidelines or something. I don't know.
Has he been taking care of his heart health?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's been very stressed a lot of the time.
Yeah, he was he overindulged his vice like a couple sessions ago and just like threw himself into his books for weeks. So
yeah, he's sort of obsessed right now with this and with all the stuff that's going on.
He has become
I don't think he's doing great.
Oh, great. Well,
I'm doing great.
God.
Well, at least the player's doing great. And you know, the character, you know, maybe tonight is a story of redemption. His arc will be, hey, I'm feeling pretty good.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to bring in your next player. This lady is the host of a Magic the Gathering, one of my other nerd obsessions, podcast called The Commander Sphere. She also plays the Hound. The character that really is all about action in this crew of, frankly, criminal nerds. Thank God she's here. Please welcome the wonderful Rachel Weeks.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks for having us back. I'm so excited.
Oh, no. We love having you guys, and we love having Bina Jaffe and her chubby bat. And
Bella. Oh no, I forget this every time. No, it's like
every time.
Bellows.
I think it is Bellows.
I think it's Bellows. I think every time. Barrow.
Clint remembered the bat's name.
Thank God somebody did.
He's never met a bat he didn't remember.
It's one of those, every time I say the name, I'm like, that can't be it. And it is.
It is. It's Barrow. And last time we had a Stream of Blood meeting, I was like, Clint, listen to me. You better remember if any bats come up, remember their names.
Sick of you forgetting bats.
Listen, I'm running the game. You have to remember the names of any bats that are introduced. And, you know, he took me at my word. So
you get a bat bonus every month.
This is what meetings with me are like. And everybody already knew that. Okay. Final player. I'm so psyched that he is here as well. He is a game master. He is a game designer. He plays on the Better Than Heroes stream on Monday nights, and he has created a leech who is really into self-poisoning. I remember last time we were like about to do some kind of roll, and we were like, oh, okay. I was like, this could go badly for you if you overindulge because your vice is poisoning yourself. I think it actually ended up going okay, surprisingly enough. Please welcome, as our friend Urich, this is Andrew
Thank you. Hooray!
Hooray! The Kenahora is gathered. What do you think? Are you a little nervous about this score tonight, everybody? I already asked Jordan, but how's everybody else feel?
Nervous.
Yes, very.
Yeah. We are not ready for this.
Okay. Yeah, you're tier 0, but I can kind of guarantee that if you can get through this, you guys are probably going to at least get up to like tier 1, I think. I think you're going to get enough XP together. You're going to earn big XP tonight because you're up against some pretty big factions, some big organizations that are kind of playing the game here. And I am just are you guys ready to play? Should we hop in?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then Clancy Don says about the faction turn. We have fucked things up so bad for y'all.
I purposefully didn't watch it because I didn't want to.
I watched part of it enough to realize that I shouldn't be watching it. So
Aaron actually told us before the stream started that he watched the faction turn and saw the blue coats, what they did, and he was like, "Oh, interesting. The other players are putting us in a ghetto." And yeah, guys, the fiction of the game can be
a long-term project.
It's on me. If you make dark fantasy into an Ashkenazi Jewish allegory, it's gonna turn super fucked up super fast.
Yeah,
I thought it was just gonna be golems and violins and stuff.
Golems,
no,
golems lead to ghettos inevitably.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could stop the blue coats from doing that, or at least fuck it up.
It's not all golems and grape juice.
First, you have to save the world. So let's play. 1,000 years ago, this was a land of beauty and magic until a cataclysm blotted out the sun and threw open the gates to the land of the dead. The city of Duskfall is a steampunk metropolis protected from the Deathlands without by crackling lightning towers that are fed by the blood of leviathans, demons that are hunted in the void sea. Outside are legions of the walking dead, of ghosts and spirits hungry for our life force. Inside the walls of the city is a teeming hive of scum and villainy, intrigue and corruption. The sun is gone. The only thing that shines in Duskfall are the blades in the dark. And here is how I will recap where the Kenahora is. And please ask any questions you'd like, or make fun of me while I do it.
I think
Guys,
you need like a sweet metal score for your setup. It's ready. It's ready.
Clint, you see how I end on the name of the game? Isn't that kind of clever?
Very good.
Clint, do you play... Can we bring in Secret GM Clint for a second? Do you play any instruments, like any electric guitar or anything? All right.
You gonna learn real quick?
Granted. We just hadn't thought of that.
Kind of.
So last time it was
come
down
back in full Kiss outfit.
Black
last
leather
time
bagpipe.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to come back with a bagpipe. That is definitely the type of instrument Clinton Trucks plays. So the last time we played, it was a downtime. It was a downtime turn, and people kind of got healed up. They strengthened their position, the Kenahora, by getting rid of their heat, which was very in character for you guys because you are a subtle crew of shadows. Who, if you've never joined us before, viewers, these guys steal artifacts that used to belong to Skovlanders, but that the Empire has kind of stolen when they colonized and took over Skovland. So they're a very subtle crew of thieves, and they got their heat down. We learned some interesting things about Melvier, the Physiker, who's friends with Bina Jaffe. Melvier has a way to heal, or at least temporarily make Urich's friend Veldrin lucid. Urich's friend Veldrin, Urich feels very guilty over Veldrin because Veldrin and he used to experiment with drugs and poisons together, but the drugs and poisons drove Veldrin completely mad. So perhaps in a future future downtime, Urich will be able to look more into the drugs that Veldrin used to, that Melvier used to help Veldrin kind of get a moment of lucidity. But why did you have to give Veldrin a moment of lucidity? This recap is already getting way out of hand. Look, the reason that we had to uncloud Veldrin's brain, it was to help this crew figure something out, and you can hear the cries of the city behind me. A city that never goes, a city that never sleeps, a city that maybe doesn't want to go to bed. The reason that you needed Veldrin's mind as part of on your team last time was because there is something very big, very horrible, very magical, and very ancient happening in the city of Duskfall. Poor Violet's sister, who is dead and a ghost and a horrifying troublemaker, dropped an artifact into poor Violet's bed. It was a long kind of like stone harpoon with strange glyphs on the side that has since been identified as one of the lancets of Satara. And when Elazar and the rest of the crew, including Veldrin, researched this, Bina researched this, you all found out that these lancets are used to bind a demon to the bottom of the Void Sea right outside of Duskfall, a demon called Satara. Oh.
That took a long time, Clint. Was that out of the garage? Holy shit.
Doing it.
Well,
honestly, perfect tone for Blades in the Dark.
It really was.
That was amazing.
And the recap was taking so long, it needed something there. Basically, you guys have figured out that you're in possession of one of these lancets. They're like big stone spears that need to go through a giant demon's body on the bottom of the ocean here. Those lancets have been pulled out of the void sea by the Leviathan hunters. And then they're being studied, these lancets, at Bellwether Crematorium. That is where the spirit wardens make their headquarters. The spirit wardens, of course, the people who sort of police ghost activity inside the city of Duskfall, and also murder, because murder in Duskfall often creates ghosts, which creates problems for the citizens. So the spirit wardens are a very powerful tier 4 faction who have recently gotten their hands on these lancets and are studying them at Bellwether Crematorium. Somehow, Lovely Rose stole one of them and dropped into poor Violet's bed like the head of a horse in The Godfather. And you guys have determined that if you don't get at least one or all of these lancets back to this demon out in the sea, it will rise and there will be some sort of horrible apocalyptic event. So you were kind of preparing to deal with this, and you procured some things to help you. You procured a decent sized ship and a crew, a cohort from the Grinders, a gang that you are kind of nominally allied with, who are also Skovlanders, who could help you. So you have the one lancet, you have the ship, you have Grinders, members of the Grinders gang that can help you with this. And I would like to know what your next move is. And we don't have to jump immediately into the score if you guys don't want, or we can. But once the score starts, it's going. Like, we don't really do a lot of planning. We just hit the ground running, and you can use your flashback effects to kind of like bring in new information or new resources that you need. So, thoughts, lady and gentlemen?
Man, oh man.
Yeah, we have to be so quiet.
It seems like we've had this thing dropped into our laps and we're just sort of fucked. But Elazar is smarter than Aaron, and I'm curious whether there's some kind of way within the context of being a spider in the city of Duskfall to turn this seemingly terrible situation to our advantage.
Interesting. Do you have some ideas on what kind of a method or
No, Jared.
Okay. Well, I would like to kind of set the fiction around this talk, and it can be player talk. It can be, there's no such thing as metagaming in this game. You can metagame all you want, but I feel like you guys are having your final meetings, before you kind of act on this. And I think that like in probably 12 hours, according to your, apocryphal tomes, something horrible is going to happen. And, you're saying this has been dropped into our lap. We are truly fucked. How do we turn this to our advantage? And I believe, Andrew, you were going to say something.
Sorry. I had heard this through the grapevine, the Stream of Blood grapevine, that the Bluecoats faction, the cops of this world, are trying to push Skovlanders into a ghetto of sorts. Is that currently happening while we're trying to plan this heist?
I think it's fair for you to have heard rumblings on the street about this, but it has not. The clock is not yet full, if I'm correct, Clinton Trucks, and so the actual rounding up and the moving hasn't begun yet.
Okay, cool. I guess I would think this. For all sitting around the bookstore chatting. I'll point out, I believe that the four of us are the only ones who know that this lancet is missing. True?
I suppose that would
we
be
have
true.
Information that perhaps we could use in our favor? The Spirit Wardens surely haven't told anyone outside of their group that they've lost one of these lancets?
We don't know.
Yes,
I think
not.
I think,
but they don't seem all that concerned with the end of the world if they have all of these if they have all the lancets in their possession.
Yeah, shouldn't they be wardening against demons in the sea?
It is extremely strange. You have picked up on this, both of you, all of you, that it is extremely strange that they are not, that they kind of haven't figured this out. They are occult experts, and they have brought in scholars. This is how you found out about it. As Bina found out through her various academic contacts that these guys are studying these things. Maybe they're not as smart as you. Maybe they don't have the same books. But the Kenahora has one up on them. The Kenahora somehow knows that this is potentially apocalyptic, and the Spirit Wardens aren't treating it that way.
What if we spread the word that the Bluecoats have this lancet to sow strife between these two groups, distract the Spirit Wardens, while simultaneously distracting the Bluecoats from whatever they're planning to do with us in our neighborhood?
We try and plant this lancet on the Bluecoats. That's the
No, we keep the lancet, but we know the information that it's missing.
I think,
and very few others
at this point,
That's true.
poor Violet steps forward out of the shadows, and she goes, "No, she's right. We give it to the Bluecoats, and then we tell on them."
But aren't we trying to steal all of them?
No. And then we let them know that the world's going to end, and hopefully they pin it on the Bluecoats, and toodaloo, we're off.
Well, I
Feels
will
like
say,
it's assuming a lot.
I will say, I mean, all things are valid. Like, if that's the score you guys want to do, you can do that score. I will say that, like, you have one lancet. You kind of know about where you'd need to travel out with your ship to possibly put it back into this demon's corpus under the sea.
We have an activation word for it, right?
Yes,
I
you
have that
do.
written down.
Yes, you have an activation word for it. So, and probably, you probably have like some rituals that would go along with that activation word, or the activation words that are kind of quite long, and it's like this like weird thing that would have dated back to when the Immortal Emperor imprisoned this demon under the sea, which would have been a long, long time ago. He being immortal, the Immortal Emperor. So you could just take this lancet out into the sea and put it into the demon. You could try to get the others from Bellwether Crematorium, or you could do, as poor Violet is advocating, a thing that kind of, to be honest with you, the Spirit Wardens are tier 4.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're really tough. It's possible to get around that in various ways, but it would be really tough. You could do something like poor Violet's advocating, some kind of shuffling of the powers or pitting them against each other.
I think it's easier to... So, without doing the accent, this is what I think. I think it's easier for us...
I love the accent, by the way.
Thank you. I need to talk this out a little bit.
Okay,
I'm working it out on stage. Poor Violet, working it out on stage. So, who's from out of town? I think it would be easier for us to sneak the lancet into the company of the Bluecoats, make them think they've discovered it, so to speak, and then tip off the wardens so they find it, and then maybe at the same time we can tip them off to the impending apocalypse. Maybe they simply don't know about it. Or
well, what if they do?
Or we just take the one that we have out into the water, we drop it into a monster, we say the word, and we go away.
Yeah, we don't know that will save the world. We don't know if just one will do it.
These are the options.
Does Elazar have any books about this? In this,
I think we tried to figure this out, and we like failed a roll.
I remember that. That. What I will say is, like, if somebody else wanted to try, like, I'll allow a gather information before you get rolling here tonight, if you'd like, before the score in earnest starts. But I am going to, after a little bit longer, start pushing you toward the score because, like I said, it's 12 hours till the end of the world.
Yeah,
trucks hit it.
I think that giving it to the Bluecoats could possibly mean the end of the world because if they,
I like the idea of blaming it on them. Though. I think that
what is our relationship with the Spirit Wardens? Like, are these people that we could just be like, hey, we read this in a book and like the world's ending?
Yes, there's some sort of apocalypse tip line.
Or maybe there's a contact, someone that we could talk to.
So that's very interesting question, Bina. And maybe the score becomes like, like for example, when you choose a score, you choose your method, right? You choose like the type of method you're going to try, and it can be social, right? And then you just need a social connection. And that would be the type of score you're suggesting. We go and talk to them and tell them what's happening and get them to help us. You know what I mean? Like that can be a type of score because the Spirit Wardens are like terrifying secret police who capture souls. Like that might be so they're not. It would be like me going like, I'm going to go tell the CIA about something I found out about.
Sure.
I'd be like,
But
okay, you might
CIA.
I might be able to. Right. Well, no, they might, and I might be able to do that, but it would be hard.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's
and also they might not care. They might know that they might
this
want
could be part of a plan that they're doing.
They might want it.
Is there a way that we can try to ascertain what the Spirit Wardens are doing?
Yeah, you could do a gather information roll. I think that you could. That sounds like what you want, right? You want info.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you want info on what's going on with the Spirit Wardens or how they're reacting to the disappearance of one of these lancets, or even to figure out how many lancets they have, someone needs to tell me what action they're using to gather that info and kind of describe it in the fiction, and then we'll make a roll.
I could consort with someone with a contact who's familiar with the workings at the top of the Spirit Wardens potentially.
Do you have any contacts like that? I think you have 2 contacts that are detailed on your sheet. Do you have a contact?
I have a friend who's an information broker.
Salia, right?
Salia.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you go to Salia and see if he's heard anything on the street about all of this.
Okay.
And
meet in the park.
Say again, Andrew?
Gothic Park.
For some reason, I thought we knew that there were 5 lancets. Am I just misremembering that?
No, you're correct, but you don't know how many they have exactly.
Oh, okay.
You know that they pull. I mean, I don't think that you know. Maybe you do, but anyway, you know that they had some over at the old Bellwether, and now one of them ended up in poor Violet's bed.
Cool.
So, yeah, let's talk to Salia. You're going to use consort, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to set this as a standard effect, and it's not risky. It's controlled. This is your buddy who you've used before. So controlled with a standard effect, and let's see how you do.
Okay. So I have 2 in consort, so I roll 2 dice?
That's right.
Okay, a 5 and a 3.
Okay, so a 5 means a mixed result or a limited partial effect, and that is enough for me to tell you that Salia knows that they found 5 of the things, and he knows that a bunch of academics from Charter Hall University were called in to kind of figure out what they are, and he knows that they're being kept at Bellwether because that's one of the most secure arcane laboratory complexes in Duskfall, right? Like there's few other places where they know how to work with dangerous magical stuff safely than Bellwether. That's why they ended up there. And that's all I can tell you, which is pretty much what you already knew, but with like a slight tweak to kind of confirm it and kind of tell you exactly how many there were.
They found 5 then. Sorry. They never had the 6th?
No, I'm sorry. So it looks like and if I got my numbers kind of futzed, I'm sorry, Rachel. It sounds like one of them left Bellwether.
Okay.
So they have 4, we have 1.
Yeah.
Is Charter Hall University my university that I attend?
It is, and it's where Ludvin taught, and it's where Bina probably has some like professors who will talk to her.
Yeah, is there any way we could do a gather information there because if they pulled in these academics from there, could I figure out who they talked to and what those academics told the spirit wardens?
Maybe even what they specialize in.
You could do that.
Could I do a sway?
A sway, yeah, you could. So you're talking to professors at Charter Hall.
Yes.
Very good. That makes sense. So while Elazar is kind of talking to the information broker, Urich kind of moves among his professor contacts in Charter Hall. That's going to be a same standard effect, and it's not risky. It's controlled.
Okay, I got a 4.
A 4. Again, it's limited information. So because it's a 4. Limited information allows you to pinpoint which professors have been called over, but not how they feel about it. You don't actually get to talk to any of them. They are being weirdly sequestered inside of Bellwether right now. That's why you don't get to talk to them. But if you'd like to know what their names are.
Yeah, I'll write them down. Give me a sec. Cool. Hit me.
Okay. Let me just bring up a name generator.
Hey, you're the one who offered.
No, I mean, no, I wasn't trying to shame you for that. I was just explaining how long it was taking. Okay.
Process.
So Charlotte not Strangford. Charlotte Childermass. Let's see. Professor Jacob Innerwick. And a Professor Daniel Bluff. Charlotte Childermass, Jacob Innerwick, and the third one I said.
Your lawsuit from Neil Gaiman is on the way. Cool.
Neil Gaiman name generator. Neil Gaiman name generator. Go.
Yeah. Cool. I'll take note of those names, and it sounds like perhaps they know something of the import of the situation if they're sequestering these academics there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do we know anything about their specialties or anything? Like what their professors in?
That would be easy enough to find out.
Public
so I will allow that
probably.
as well. Yeah. These guys are history. They are history professors. They are demonology professors. So the first one was history, like old history. The next one is demonology, and the third one is let's call it like interdimensional physics, right? Because we established last time with the help of Veldrin that kind of like activation word kind of sets the lancet into like a different dimensional harmonic frequency that can kind of pierce the demon.
Is it safe to
Jared,
assume that
Secret DM Clint Trucks is asking you to open your live notes, please?
Oh, I forgot my live notes. Okay.
So it sounds like between these three professionals, surely they have come by the same information that we have, right? I mean, if you look at their respective fields, history, demonology, and interdimensional physics, surely they know how important these lancets are, and that this demon is in the sea nearby. They'd have to, right?
They would have to, right?
They have to.
They would have to, right?
It's
right.
Well,
Jared?
guys,
Jared.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny.
I just think is that a safe assumption, given.
I will not confirm nor deny your logically and
but it's a safe assumption.
Reasoned out. It sounds like it was very logically reasoned out.
Okay.
Yes.
But is this a logical place?
Am I a logical game master?
If we can assume that they know, then we can assume that they don't care.
Yeah.
Sure,
So
they've got some kind of game they're playing.
So
Oh,
our
I
options
care a
today
lot.
are to try and pin a demon back into his dimension with a
Yes.
single thing, or just try and pin it on the cops and hope that does something positive for us in the apocalypse.
I don't think we can pin it on the cops anymore. I think we just need to get rid of it.
What if we just try the one lancet, see the effect one way or the other? We leak to these academics that one lancet has been put back in the demon.
I could ask Rose if she could get the others.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean
she got one of them, I suppose. Yeah. But then we're gonna wind up with all these push pins that we're gonna have to figure out if we can. Do they all have the same activation words?
Not to mention one of her grisly bargains.
Yeah.
She'll want a thumb for this.
So guys, let's see. I'm gonna say Urich and Elazar have used up their time before the score must begin in earnest. So if Bina and Poor Violet want to do something beforehand, they may.
I think the one thing that Poor Violet would like to do would be to make like a rubbing or a copy of the particular passage that tells us of this impending, how dangerous this is to do, and kind of see if she can very, very secretively get it to the wardens, just in case they don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to maybe see if Poor Violet would pop up.
You mean Rose?
I'm sorry, Lovely Rose will pop up.
Well, maybe if she can very, very secretly, or if maybe, you know what? I would like to ask. Okay, this is what I would like to do. I would like to invoke a spirit to ask it if specifically Lovely Rose, who has been presumably to the where are the lancets being kept?
They're being kept in Bellwether Crematorium.
In the crematorium, so where she's apparently been, maybe she knows if they know. Maybe I could just ask Rose
if she knows where they're being kept inside of Bellwether Crematorium.
No. If they know that the world will end, you know.
Okay. If she knows when you want to ask your ghost sister if she knows when the world will end.
No, I want to ask my ghost sister if when she was in Bellwether Crematorium.
Okay, great. Try it.
Okay.
What are you going to use? What action are you going to use?
I am going to use... Now, I don't want to try it while you're frustrated, Jared.
No. I'm trying to keep a lot of things, a lot of balls in the air. I'm not frustrated. Clearly, my attention was kind of split, but I feel you. You're trying to you're doing a gather information roll from
to the spirit world. We can say even using, just a standard planchette and a Ouija board. She's trying to gather information as to what the spirit wardens know or don't know about the impending apocalypse. Okay, so I'm going to roll a tune, which I have 2.
Great. Will Lovely Rose give you more information? She's always super helpful.
Let's say specifically, I'm not going to use compel. I'm just attuning. I'm going to use my spirit board. Let's say my aunt's old spirit board. She'll go to her room quietly and use her Ouija board and attune and ask questions.
This is like the other. Like the others, this will be a controlled for standard effect, and you got a 1.
I rolled 2 1s.
Wow. So that means that you fail and Lovely Rose does something terrible.
Oh, God.
And
Rose is such a fun asset.
These other guys.
You get word from one of your grinder allies comes to the bookshop and is like, he comes in and he's like, "Are we shoving off? Because things are getting kind of crazy on the ship right now." There's a lot of spirit activity. Someone keeps changing my charts. We gotta go if we're gonna go.
Well, let's go.
Right.
I think we should go. Let's get the lancets. Can we wrap the lancet up in like some?
Great. Nobody wants to fuck anything up one more time before we go.
Nope. One last chance. We're leaving now.
So every time I roll to try to help something, there's a chance of just completely destroying it.
Well,
Only with your evil ghost sister.
I want to
I
say
was attuning to the spirit world with a ghost board.
I want to say. So it was a fail. It was a gather information, and it yielded no information, right? But let's see. Bad result, poor little effect is what you get when you roll ones. So don't worry. She hasn't like put a hole in the boat. She didn't kill your grinder allies. She's just like attacking the boat and causing weird.
I mean, that's
weird
great. It's
poltergeist
like, this is
stuff
kind of
to
my
happen.
thing. And if I can't roll it without putting a hole in the boat, then I'm going to stop rolling.
No. You just didn't get any information from her.
Great. I'm in.
Your sister is a pain in the ass.
She's a little scamp.
A little scamp, and she tries to hurt your feelings any way that she can. Lady and gentlemen,
she did potentially help avert the apocalypse if this works.
Hey, there's that too. So she's
I thought maybe she was trying to tell us something.
She's a complicated woman, and no one understands her but her man.
Mm-hmm.
Bina Jaffe, I haven't given you a gather information. You may try some other type of tactic if you'd like before the score starts in earnest.
So it sounds like we're trying to take a lancet and pin it into this demon here.
It doesn't have to be that. I want to just be clear about that. It's just that's what the grinders were kind of pulled in to do last time, and so this guy's like, "Are we doing it?" You know.
Yeah. It sounds like the clock is shortened. I guess while everybody's doing their gather information, I would consort with whatever my contacts are, the professors, and just figure out the best way to do this, like technique wise, for pinning a demon to the seafloor.
I love that. You're going to talk to some professors.
Whatever.
And try to gather information about
available.
Binding demons, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, the professor that is the expert on that is currently sequestered in Bellwether Crematorium, but you can talk to like his grad students and stuff, right?
Perfect.
So, go ahead and tell me what action you're going to use.
I'll use consort on this one.
Controlled standard effect.
Yeah.
So if you get a good roll, you'll learn a lot.
5.
Okay, so that means limited information. And what you learn is that an artifact dating back to the immortal emperors, like when he was binding demons and stuff all over the earth, is going to be incredibly powerful. Even like one piece of it. Like, they show you books where there's like a fragment of a pot that like was like used to hold the sweet ambrosia of like his like concubine is like said to have magical powers. Mm-hmm. So following that train of logic, it states that perhaps just one lancet would be able to kind of do its job.
Okay. Well, now, that's enough to get her on the boat.
Everybody's got a lot of information, but I just want to stress, I really, as a game master, love it when you do what you want, not what I'm trying to get you to do. So you could do all the things that are on the table. I think you guys should really discuss it and not feel railroaded. So there's the one lancet plan, which sounds, based on Bina's information gathered, that it would work. But there are the other plans too that were posed, and I don't think I am agnostic. Say no more.
Sure. I think the subtle plan here is certainly to just get rid of this lancet. Like just pin it on the
get that
blue coats
thing back in the other thing.
I think we should
But knowing that there's hope to put off the end of the world.
Well,
how about this?
Maybe once we get the one back in, we can work on the others.
Sure. We can also get one back in and try and spin some crazy story. The Bluecoats stole this thing from the Spirit Wardens as some kind of insane power grab, and the Skovlan people, through their ancient magics, were able to fix the situation.
I think if we get spotted, we try to do that. We try to create a story if anyone sees anything, but otherwise, I think we try to do this as quiet as possible. We drop it in the ocean, we say the word, we get the fuck out. If
The
somebody
grinders
sees us,
known for their subtlety.
if somebody sees us, then we spin a story, and then maybe we concede later. Like I heard this is what happened.
I think it's still an opportunity to maybe raise some kind of rep, strike a blow against the Bluecoats.
Sure.
We can at least use the information to our advantage.
Sure.
I agree.
But do we agree? Do we all agree that we maybe need to get it out there very quietly, and then we'll deal afterwards with the reputation repercussions?
I think even that is just like, even trying to use the information is just, once it's all done, using this very secret information that we know,
right,
and leaking it to the right people,
right,
will do its job.
So let's get it out there, and then once that's done, then Elazar can do his thing. Weave his web.
It couldn't be simpler. All you have to do is take the Lancet of Sitara out to the coordinates that you think you've surmised in the Void Sea off the coast of Duskfall, and drop it in while intoning the activation word. That will create the interdimensional frequency in the artifact that will allow it to pierce the body of the ostensibly gigantic demon Sitara. The Grinders, to answer Bina Jaffe's question, are a vicious gang of former dock workers and Leviathan blood refinery workers from Skovlin, and they are doing smash and grab robbery all over Duskfall in order to, basically fund a revolution.
Sure. So we're subtle friends on our subtle boat.
Our quiet, shy friends.
Let's start the score now.
Are they doing us a favor, or are we paying them?
No, you're not. Well, you pay them you pay up to them. They're kind of the gang above you anyway after you do a score. But in this particular case, you guys went to them, you talked to them, and they have given you a boat. It's large enough to hold quite a few people. Mm-hmm. Guess how many people they've given you? Let's see. The Grinders are tier 2, so let's see how many guys they've given you. They've given you 4. They've given you 4 guys.
Okay. But that's enough people for 2 horse costumes.
I can tell you that they. We need to pick a couple things before we begin the score, and that is we need to decide whether this is an assault, a deception, a stealth. I only stress that because it sounds like what you're talking about. An occult, a social, or you could call it a transport mission.
So
it seems like several of those things.
It's stealth transport.
Yeah, we definitely do not want to be seen with this thing in our possession, but we will be transporting it.
So
I think stealth is more important than transporting it, because if we get spotted with it, we're fucked.
Yeah. Stealth, because then we can transport it. If we stealth it up, we can. These are oranges, nothing more than oranges.
Okay, great. Great.
Do they have oranges in this world?
Are you kidding?
Dusk oranges.
There's no sun. All of the fruit is gray.
Wicked oranges.
Also, I did have a lore question. I
want to give you one bit of lore, and then I'll answer Andrew's lore question. Instead of oranges, they have these things called grays, and you bite into them, and it's like kind of dusty, but ultimately it gives you a little bit of.
What color are they?
They're gray.
They're gray.
They're orange.
Andrew, what's your lore question?
If memory serves, the sea is like black like ink, correct?
That is correct. And
so we won't even be able to see if we are in the right place or not. Okay.
I am good at finding stuff. So it is possible that I'm just the person for this job.
So are we going with stealth? Are we going with stealth?
Stealth.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the point of infiltration? What would you like to? And you guys can be creative with this. Whatever you think that means. Like, it doesn't need to be defined in any specific way.
Do we have to leave the lightning barriers to go out onto the sea, or is this location inside the lightning barriers?
That is a great question. I'm going to rule that, when it comes to the sea, because ghosts don't tend to kind of like walk in from the sea, there are places where you can get out of the lightning barriers with little difficulty.
Are these like patrolled? Is there like a patrolling force out there that supervises these things?
That is certainly a possibility.
So I guess our point of entry will be one of these gates in the lightning barrier that we must stealthily get through.
Probably slipping through, some sort of checkpoint in the lightning barrier. Sounds about right.
There's nothing stealthier than a tugboat on the open water. So
carrying grays,
cutting action hide tugboat. Cool.
How about our point of infiltration is like a smuggler's gap in the lightning?
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Love that.
Done done.
That sounds like something the grinders would know about for sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
Let's do the engagement roll, everybody. So, base fortune roll, 1 die. Okay.
Urist.
No,
Major.
Roll it.
You can roll it if you want. I don't mind.
Oh no, I don't want that on me.
Major
You've got the hot
advantage.
hand.
Do you have any major advantages? Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target? Is the operation particularly bold or daring? I'm going to say it is because I think you guys are saving the world, so that gives you a die. I'm going to give you a die for that. Target is a lower tier. No, target, which is a demon sleeping beneath the sea, is a much higher tier.
Everything about this is terrifying.
This is fine. I feel fine. I brought my hunting bat.
Yeah.
No district modifiers for you.
Cut to Barrow. Just drooling. Is that saliva? That looks like blood.
Friends or contacts provide aid or insight. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, now let's go to the disadvantages. Operation is overly complex. Going out in the middle of the sea, dropping it. No, you guys didn't decide to do a big heist and get the rest of them. You just decided to do this. Pretty straightforward. Target is strong against this approach. Have particular defenses or preparations. No, we've established that this is the thing that puts him to sleep. Enemies, rivals interfering in the operation. Enemies, rivals. No. Target is a higher tier.
Yeah.
Yep. And district modifiers, none. Okay, guys. So, are you sure? Because if you guys want to roll it, you can. It's 2 dice.
No, please.
All right,
please
I'll
do
roll
it.
one, and Aaron, you roll one.
Okay.
Ooh, 3.
3.
Oh God! Oh God!
That means that you start in a desperate situation.
Great.
Oh no!
Guys,
I didn't want to roll it.
Oh man!
no.
Yeah, you can't. There's no like pushing an engagement roll, right?
I'm afraid not. It's just an engagement roll.
I thought so. No, I'm excited. Let's
bad
do it.
result.
Let's
You're
go.
in a desperate
Lovely
position
roses.
when the action starts, and so I will.
We dropped the lancet like through the front stairs.
Right? No. The lancet's
Not
on the
that bad,
boat.
right?
The lancet's on the boat. It's under a tarp.
Great.
And one of the grinders is talking to you. They've introduced themselves. These grinders. One it goes by Tremor. The other goes by Stains. And then the third one Stains. And you see that his hands are terribly stained, like with like black, like Leviathan blood from when he worked in the refineries on the docks.
I love
And
it. So cool.
Tremors is a woman who. She has tremors. Like that's like these guys were Scovelanders who worked in these like demon blood refineries, and it ruined their lives, and that's why they've moved to a life of crime. But the one you're talking to, he just says like, I'm Modche, and the others are like, use your alias, and he's like, oh yeah, Cutter. Hey, I know exactly where we need to move through. Cut to, this is how the score is starting. 2 Ministry of Preservation boats are moving toward you. And one of them is like, turning a crank. You can see a guy on the coast. Stop your boat and please lay anchor. We are going to board. 2 boats, everybody. Are headed toward you, and you guys are kind of like parked at this like little gap in like kind of where the lightning towers end and the open sea begins. You are in a desperate situation to begin. The void sea spreads out in front of you. The sky above you is completely black, but out there in the void sea, you can see that the weird thing about the void sea is that there are stars beneath the surface. And that is how you are going to navigate. And you were so close. You were beginning to pull out your star charts and head out into the sea to find the location of this demon when all of a sudden you realize that this idiot grinder, Modche, has brought you right into basically a Ministry of Preservation cordon. So they're approaching. They're like talking to you on there. Like they have to like. It's steampunk, so they have to spin a crank in order to have a megaphone.
Yep.
Like, pull over, lay anchor. You are going to be boarded. So you don't have to pick an action right now. You could just tell me what you'd like to do. Yes, Elazar.
Could I use a piece of equipment?
Oh my God! And yes, we should pick your loadout. What loadout did you guys go with?
Honestly, I think
normal.
we can go heavy, right? Because we're just on a boat by ourselves.
Do we all have to have the same?
You actually do not. In our recent score, one guy went light and the others went heavy. So I'm going to rule that you can always go differently. It does make sense, as Jordan is saying, that you could just go heavy. You're just on a boat dropping a lancet into a demon.
Yeah.
That's true. I'll go heavy.
Anybody
Sure.
not going heavy?
Elazar is going to go normal because he's an old man, and also because he's anticipating potentially having to deal with a situation like this where he may have to talk to someone and doesn't want to be all like loaded up special ops style.
Bristling with.
The Ministry of Preservation boats are moving forward. You can see the emblem of the Ministry of Preservation, which is like a tower with like lightning striking it. You know, they're the ones that sort of, follow who goes in and out of the city, how goods are transported. They're definitely the ones who keep an eye out for smugglers. 2 of their boats are approaching you. What do you do?
Can I use, as a piece of equipment, I can use a fine cover identity.
Yes.
So I'm going to have papers and just sort of take my coat, and it's reversible, and I'm going to turn it around, and it's fine Akarosi style, and I'm going to prepare to talk to these guys as Aiden Drax, Akarosi, man about town.
Going
And
for
I-
a little night boat with
I
criminals.
I mean, honestly, maybe it's as simple as a bribe if you're a powerful Akarosi.
Can I help him? Can I do something while he's doing this?
I think it's a good idea, guys, because I'm about to roll 5 dice for the Ministry of Preservation's Tier 5 to see how good these investigators are.
Yeah.
And, there's a chance I could roll a critical and you could get the fucking guy who's out to catch all the smugglers. Yes, to answer your question, Andrew, you should do something to help him.
Great.
I
I have something called subterfuge supplies, and what I would like to do is put something in the maybe like a little smoke bomb of sorts by the engine to make it look like we're having some engine troubles on our boat.
Subterfuge supplies. Okay, great. Great. So you do that. It now looks like that there's black smoke coming up from your engine. That's going to add like kind of a layer to the deception here. Bina, go ahead.
Yeah.
Remember that flashbacks are an option too, guys.
Oh, that would have been smart.
What is it?
I'm just reminding you. Go ahead, Bina. I'm sorry.
What did you say?
Yeah,
Flashbacks are an option.
Right.
that's probably
I killed the captains of both these boats. Can I get that flashback? No, just kidding.
The night before, I poisoned their soups.
I guess I will use subterfuge supplies as well. And I'm just going to attempt to really, really disguise this the Lancet.
Very good.
Like try and conceal it from them.
What are you making it look like? And there's not a right or wrong answer here. I think you're making it look like something else.
What kind of ship are we on?
You're on like a little cutter. So tugboat's not too far from the truth. It's like, it would be equivalent to maybe like a small yacht or a small fishing boat.
Yeah. This is just where we keep our fishing supplies for days when we go fishing for fun in the Black Ocean.
So Bina's Bina's got it all looking like it is like fishing. Well, actually, if you're fishing out here, you need special stuff. So the Lancet of Satara now with your subterfuge supplies looks like something else. It looks like it is, in fact, the kind of weaponry and things that you would use to go fishing out in the void sea. And so you have in many ways mitigated with these two factors how good this guy is at doing stuff. But he and his other ship have arrived, and they are telling you that they're going to board, and the grinders are like, do I stop the boat?
I think
I'll talk to them.
Very good. So the ship pulls up, and it's actually not a guy; it's a woman, and she's wearing a high collar Ministry of Preservation kind of like at sea uniform, and she's standing at like kind of parade rest with her arms behind her back, and she's like, "Evening,
Good evening."
Always is. Every hour of the day.
Yeah.
Looks like you're having some engine trouble.
Yes, indeed. And my coat is like an old Akarosi naval uniform. Part of my of my fine cover identity.
Oh, your fine cover identity. I'll allow it. So,
Sure.
She's like, we get a lot of smugglers through here. Are you?
Yes, of course. Why do you think I brought such a rough crew with me to watch over me?
We'd like to board and
look tough.
We'd like to board and just look around, and then I could even take a look at your engine.
Can I help him and kind of tug and be like, Uncle, I think I'd feel safer if they looked around.
Certainly, we have nothing to hide.
Very good. So you're going to let them board?
I'm going to try and construct an elaborate lie is what I'm going to try to do. I come out here once every year to the spot where my wife sadly drowned. And it's very important to me and my daughter to be there. Oh, dear, we have, 15 minutes.
Please, daughter.
Poor Violet, if you're assisting, you can take one stress, and then Elazar will have +1 die on the action roll I feel he is about to take.
I do exactly that, and this stress comes in the form of real tears. She could be a star. Real tears, you guys.
Great. That makes perfect sense. She starts actually crying because poor Violet's already always on the verge of tears.
Truly, that's her secret. She's always crying.
That's my secret. I'm always sad.
Yeah.
Yes, like that's her version of the Hulk. And so Elazar, you're allowing them to come aboard, right?
Well, I'm trying to. I want her to come aboard for long enough for her to decide that we're not doing anything wrong because of my crazy story.
She comes aboard. She has like 2 people from her boat with her. They look like Ministry of Preservation kind of investigators or officials. The other ship is just aiming stuff at you. Just like big like guns and stuff. And so
I want her to decide from our conversation that anything more than a cursory glance is unnecessary.
Well, then I guess you better really roll well. So poor Violet's taking that stress. What action are you going to roll?
Consort.
Okay, so
sort of chatting her up.
I have bad news for you.
Bullshit.
She is so good at her job, and she is of such a powerful faction that right now, whatever you do will have. I'm going to allow limited effect. I could say 0, but I think that's silly. You guys have done all kinds of smart things here. And you've got an assist, so you'll have limited effect. So she won't just go, you know what, you're right, I'm leaving. She will kind of be less suspicious. You'll kind of lessen her suspicion, and then you can try something else. For example, we could start a clock, which is convince the official nothing weird is going on. Or something like that, and you'll have to keep making rolls. But unfortunately, because she's from a tier 5 faction, and I rolled to see how good she is, and she's quite good. This will have a limited effect. Now you can improve your effect, Elazar, if you make it a desperate action. Because right now I'm going to say, oh wait, we said we started in a desperate situation.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, you're already desperate to get this limited effect. But but if you succeed on the next roll, it might not be. And the reason I'd say it's desperate is because, I mean, she can kind of make a call right now, and then you're going to get boarded by all these people, and they're not going to play nice.
Sure.
You can push the roll though by taking stress.
Do I have to do that
That's
before I
right.
roll?
Yes, Elazar could do that as well. He could push the roll by taking stress.
boy.
I'll even offer a devil's bargain.
Do you have to decide that before?
You're so magnanimous.
I'm a nice guy. You know, I'm so generous. I'll offer a devil's bargain.
I've got so many
That's
just
the way you
laying
could
around.
be.
How does that work?
My devil's bargain is this. You'll get an extra die. And my devil's bargain is that your lie that you're telling right now will, if it succeeds or fails, it really just becomes you allowing your guys to get the jump on them. Like, you know, kill them and get the ship the fuck out of there. That's my devil's bargain.
I don't really want to kill these guys, so I say
I know
no
you're a
to
nice
devil.
person.
I say
No,
no,
we're
devil.
Okay, no
That's
devil's
not
bargain.
subtle.
No devil.
We are not killers.
So
Okay.
I get an extra die from Poor
Poor
Violet,
Violet.
helping.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 dice.
That's 3
I can-
dice.
Take stress myself to
Mhm.
add an extra die.
Yeah, you can push the roll. You can take 2 stress and add +1 die to the roll. Oh, look at this. You can take 2 stress and add +1 level to your effect.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. So that'll give you, it'll be a desperate roll, but it will have a standard effect, and it will allow you to kind of like
We'll
get her
do
off
that.
your boat. Okay, great.
All right, do it.
6.
That is just a full success.
Yeah.
The kid can roll.
Oh boy.
It's like,
Rolled a 6 and 2 ones.
Oh, I
So,
feel like my teeth are loose.
what did you say your identity was?
Aiden Drax.
No.
That's the cover
Forgive-
identity alias that I have written down.
Forgive me, Captain Drax. And may I just say, it is a pleasure to meet someone who has sailed these night dark seas and come back to Duskfall to tell the tale.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Go
undertake the same danger.
go
Is
in the
this my
name of the
voice?
Immortal Emperor. And if you use the tip I gave you about keeping those engines from overheating, you're going to find you have an easier time getting in and out with this kind of model of ship.
Yes, of course.
Thank
you.
Okay. She waves off like this ship with all the weapons, and then you can see there's just a slight bit of like disappointment as that ship sort of pulls off, and she salutes Aiden Drax and climbs down off of the side of your ship.
Unbelievable.
The
The system is so broken, you guys.
grinders, like one of whom has just like black hands, is like
Easy.
Stains.
yeah.
Stains.
That's my man- that's my
You
man
stained your
Stain.
pants.
Yeah, as they sail away, we're all just sarcastically saluting.
Saluting Elazar.
Very
What?
very.
I was in the
Can I
Navy.
buy a flashback where I brought another pair of clean pants?
You may indeed. You may indeed. Okay.
That was so incredibly clutch.
So, well done. Excellent job. And I want you to make sure that you mark a desperate action. Elazar.
Yes.
Drakkher.
My result goes up.
I got
the-
goosebumps, y'all.
The ship starts to head out into the night dark seas, and you see the stars glowing beneath the surface of the ink that kind of slowly swells under your ship. And the grinder, Modche, who already took you into one trap, comes to you and goes, some of these charts are missing. Some of the coordinates you gave us, it looks like they've literally been ripped in two. Has someone been in here?
You hear a door close as poor Violet exits a room.
Poor Violet. It's a slam.
You know, when a kid's done nothing wrong.
Yeah,
The sounds
she
of
does that.
children who are completely innocent. That sound.
So it looks like
They're
there's going to
Scovelanders too, right?
They are Scovelanders as well.
So
Yeah. Is this something I could use a hunt action for and just try and like piece these back together?
It is something you could use a hunt action for. Bina, you and Elazar and Veldrin, and Urich, you guys all, the whole group, like kind of deciphered where this place is, and then you gave the grinders, like, here, go here. It looks like Lovely Rose has been in here, like, messing with the... why is she helping and hindering you? I don't know. We'll figure it out later, but...
she's a stinker.
She's a real stinker. She's a real stinker.
Can.
So you can use hunt. You can use hunt and try to piece together where you're going. And I'm going to say, if you try that, it will be it will have a standard effect. You will get where you're going. And your position is risky because if you end up in a part of the Void Sea you don't want to be in, there's all kinds of weird stuff out there.
Sure.
Can I potentially use I brought my spirit mask, and I know it allows me to kind of see the unseen pathways of the world. Can I take another stress by using that to kind of be Bina's eyes into the spirit world to give Bina another die?
Absolutely. Bina, you'll take a stress because poor Violet, you put on the mask and suddenly all of those like weird stars inside the sea that you sort of navigate by, they kind of like come up really bright for you. So whatever is there under the water is picked up easily on a spirit mask. Mm-hmm. So you suddenly become like the crow's nest for Violet. And Bina, that gives you +1 die.
Nice.
Every so often she screams at something nothing.
Okay, here we go. Do I want to? I guess I could take... No, this is probably better. All right. I rolled a 5 as the highest.
A 5. So that means success with a complication. Success with a complication in this case means you, with the help of poor Violet, know exactly where to head. Like, you get that you remember some of the old charts, and you also are just kind of good at like seeing things far off and hunting things. And so you pinpoint the location, and you guys are so focused on that you don't see the enormous Leviathan Hunter ship that is anchored right there in the same quadrant of the sea, probably because out here everything is black on black, and so Bina, you and poor Violet are really navigating by these stars beneath the sea, and suddenly your cutter is like right underneath this enormous Leviathan Hunter ship. What's it doing out here? Why are they here? You're not sure, but I can tell you that the Leviathan Hunters are a very high-tier faction, and they definitely set watches, and they're definitely out here for a reason. And as your ship moves into the shadow of this Leviathan Hunter dreadnought, you suddenly see that there are lights just kind of scanning the billowing water, and one is moving right toward your ship. And the grinders are like, oh, fuck, what do we do?
Can we just get right next to them? Like, hide the sort of like... Is there like... Can we cut off the angle so like we're just like basically up against their hull and the
can we like
will go by?
Crank engines and Millennium Falcon them?
That's really interesting. It's going to require an action roll. Maybe it is to tell the grinders who I assumed were piloting the ship exactly what to do. Maybe it's you're piloting the ship, but if that's what you want to do, what action would you like to use?
Shoot out the... No.
Could I do a sway action?
A sway
to the grinders
action?
To try to convince them to just do this kind of drastic measure.
Okay, let me think. Go.
They would know these ships, right? So they would know where its blind spots are and that kind of stuff? Because they're
What, the
like
grinders?
two of them are Leviathan. Were Leviathan Inc. guys?
They were refinery
They were
workers.
refinery.
In fact,
Ah.
let's have them say that we were refinery workers, not Leviathan hunters.
You got all of these.
They're like, one of them's holding on to like the wheel, saying that to you, like black sweat is going down his face. It's in his bloodstream. It's in his pores, guys.
All right, new cover identity.
No, is this something I can use Prowl for?
Just explain how you would use that. I mean, I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying no to your sway, Urich. I will say that in Urich, for a sway, that's not. It's not quite perfect. Sway is usually more like convincing people to come over to your side. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say that it would have like kind of a limited effect, because it's going to be like you having like a real conversation with them about why they should do this. And the light is headed toward you right now.
Okay.
I've got an idea. I would like to try to attune to the spirit world and disrupt these lights, Jedi style.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I mean, we've already proven that ghosts can mess with electrical fields, right?
That's true. Well, we could do that, or I just want everybody to hear everybody's. I don't want to just say yes, no. So, Bina, did you have an idea of how the prowl would work?
So that we like Scovelanders are like came across on boats and have some knowledge of boats, and like right. So I would probably have the ability.
I'll allow Bina. Your prowl would be grabbing the wheel from this grinder and just like doing it.
It would just be literally
Okay.
It would be Bina take the wheel moment, carry out the wheel style.
They're seafaring people.
And
So a Leviathan hunter ship is way higher tier than you guys. So, Andrew, you shouldn't feel silly that I told you that your action would have a limited effect, because I think right now, unless you guys have some other like secret in your back pocket, I think that these guys are very good, and they're out here. They're out here looking.
I got an idea. How about a flashback?
Okay, great. Give me the flashback. Don't even tell me what it's going to be. Go for it.
We have paid off the Leviathan hunters in this region to not mess with us.
Great. Are you dropping a little coin on this?
Sure. I don't know how much coin we have.
Secret Game Master Clinton Trucks. I think that in order to do that, it's going to cost you at least 1 coin, Elazar, but you could pay more if you want to be more sure that it worked.
How much coin do we have?
I think that you don't have a ton. We're going to look right now and find out exactly how much you have.
5 coin.
Okay, thank you.
We could pay
That's
2.
a lot of fun.
How about 2?
I think 2 is great.
Sure.
I think
2 coins to save the world. Come on.
Okay, well,
It's nothing.
here's the thing. Your flashback is going to cost you. Are you ready for this? Since they are tier 5 stress. It says I can do 3 or more for like really hard things. And these Leviathan hunters are very regimented and very like good. So this was very tough. You can pay more coin and take less stress, right? So if you paid 5 coin, then you wouldn't need to pay any stress. I'll let you kind of like go however many stress and coin you want. They are a tier 5 faction.
I feel comfortable with you making the financial decisions, Elazar.
Maybe 3
5
coins,
coins,
2
just too
stress.
much. That would stress me out even more.
Keep in mind, this is a score, so there will be some sort of coin that is earned from this job, even though it feels like it's not
let's do
coins.
smash and grab.
Coins were made for spending.
3 coin.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Okay.
2 stress, 3 coin.
Yes. How much? Wait, how much stress do I pay?
You're going to take 2 stress, 3 coin.
Oh, okay. That's much better.
Okay, now here is what. So just show me how Elazar's like. He's like talking to like a Leviathan hunter, like clerk inside of like a dockside kind of office building that hangs out over the Black Sea. Lightning towers crackling through a window in the back, and the clerk's like looking at him. And how does Elazar pay off?
I think he keeps having to bribe different people. Like every time he's trying to get to the person he needs to go to bribe them, he's having to bribe them as well.
Yes, of course.
Until he's racked up this enormous.
Starts with a guy loading boxes onto a ship. Elazar's like, huh? And then the next thing you know, it's like a guy with a monocle in the office I just described. And the final thing is like this guy looking over a huge map with like a captain's hat is like, takes some coin from Elazar. And here's the effect. Here's the effect of what happens, okay? And it's probably an effect you're not expecting, but it is an effect that's going to help you. Suddenly, off beyond this giant Leviathan Hunter dreadnought, you hear another Leviathan Hunter dreadnought. And suddenly, it turns on its lights and focuses them on the Leviathan Hunter that is like kind of looking for you guys. And those lights go over to that ship. And now you can kind of see that there's some kind of confrontation going on between these two Leviathan Hunters. Why did paying them off to stay out of the area create that situation? You don't know. But at this very last moment, like these lights are kind of like, that you can hear the two crews kind of communicating with each other.
Huge.
Yeah. Well, let's be quick about this.
Yeah.
He's intentionally bribing like rival people within the Leviathan Hunter.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm loving the idea of seeing like this light coming closer and closer to the ship, and Elazar just wait, and then you hear the honk.
Yeah.
There it is.
A diversion.
All right. So, so this ship that you're kind of in the shadow of, which has like emblazoned on its side the Charybdis, you can hear that all of the guards, the sentries on the top, are now kind of like focusing on this other ship, and there's like kind of a lot of shouting going on back and forth. What would you guys like to do now?
Let's just
punch it.
Just slip past.
So, are they in the way
or is
of
this where we need to be?
Yeah,
they're not in the way necessarily. They, it's a ship, so you can kind of float around. But it's like very clear. This is just a weird, random part of the Void Sea, Bina. It's not like a place. There's no island here, so it's clear that like the ship was here for a reason.
Yeah.
And you hear them shouting back and forth, but you can, if you'd like, kind of go to a spot where you think you could begin the process.
I mean, is this is this the place, Bina?
It's as close as we're going to get without getting in the way of those Leviathans, right? Like, I'm confident that we're where we're supposed to be. Because we got to where we're going, right?
Yeah.
You did have a success.
Yeah, it was a success. The consequence was an enormous boat.
Then I think we start the process of unloading this Lancet in the shadow of this.
Yeah.
Of this horrible dreadnought.
Quietly.
Okay,
Sheltering.
so just to give you an idea, like it truly is like your little ship is kind of rolling by, and if a light came on it, or if someone were to even look through over the side in the darkness, they would see your little ship, and the Leviathan Hunter its scale is many times larger than your own. And high above you, like, is where the deck of their ship is. And that is why you're able to kind of, maybe quietly scoot past. But I think that in order to kind of get to exactly the spot you think you need to get to without anybody noticing you're there, this ship, the Charybdis, or the one beyond that seems to be communicating with the Charybdis, I need some kind of action, because, and it's going to be desperate, because I want you to know the weapons on these things, like they have big, like electrically charged, like super harpoons and like cannons, like their sides bristle with cannons. Like these are cities on the water, and you're like in a little like tub.
You said you wanted us to do what?
Some sort of action to kind of sneak past them over the exact spot you want to be in.
Can I use a silence potion? It creates an air of utter silence around the shattered vial. I'd like to, if it's cool with my cohort, smash that on the deck of the ship and make our ship very, very quiet. As quiet as the ocean around it.
Beautiful. So Urich pulls, a vial, smashes it, and one of the grinders is like, "Look, they're gonna."
I love it.
Okay, so you've kind of mitigated some of their ability to sense you with that, and in a very major way. So let me know. What you still need to roll an action, but it will be helped by considerably by Urich's potion.
I mean, I think this would be the prowl, right?
Yeah.
This is the prowl, because you kind of have to go out. You kind of have to move your ship out to a spot where both of them could see you if they were looking.
Can anybody? Does anybody have stress to give to Bina?
Yeah, I do.
I'm
give
too
Bina
stressed out for
and I
a
have
12-year-old.
I have prowl as well, so maybe I can just kind of coordinate with Bina on like just the very best spot, not only for what we're gonna do, but also the best spot to make a quick getaway. But I'll give her a stress of mine.
Okay, great.
I can't hear Rachel. Can you guys?
No,
Sorry,
I can't.
I muted it. I'm here.
It's all good.
Yeah, so I can also push the roll because I'm okay stress wise. I lost my sheet. I don't know where it went.
That's
No,
okay.
I'll pull it up right now. So we have to get you want us to get away from the boats enough so that we're in a little bit of a spot where they could see us. Is there anything we can do to like mask the ship? Probably.
Yeah, well, Urich has made you completely silent, which I think helps quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I will make this roll and I will push the roll. So I take two stresses to do that.
You take 2 stress. Your friend who helped you, it was Urich. You helped.
It was Urich. Yeah.
Urich helped. So you get plus 2 dice to this roll.
Okay, so I have.
And you're going out to the exact spot, which is in view of both ships, where you need to drop the lancet.
Let's see.
Okay. Well, there's 4 here, so let's.
This is going to be a desperate action because if they see you, like I said, it's going to be awful. And I will say, only because of Urich's silence potion, you will have limited effect. And what I mean by that is, you will get out to the place without them noticing you, but you will be kind of like a sitting duck. If something happens and changes, they might still be able to try again to see you. But this, you'll get out there silently and without being spotted.
Well, I did roll a 6, so one of them is a 6.
So your limited effect is that Bina's like, and everybody's like, because the ships are like right there.
Yeah.
And this is when I do this.
This is when I do this.
This is when I do this.
Oh, what's he doing, Andrew?
Don't do that. Oh, you don't got to do that.
Rachel, Aaron, what's he doing?
Suddenly, there is a outcry aboard the ship that was newly arrived, and guns start going off between the two ships.
Oh.
Crack, 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 and it seems like deck to deck combat right now. But now you can see that they're kind of like moving a little bit, and like weapons are being armed and turning toward each other.
We got to do this and get the.
Great, that's fine. That's fine. Let him fight.
Yeah.
Let him fight.
Okay, great.
Fight. Can I buy a flashback?
I think that you should.
I think I wanted to rig up like a with these grinders, basically like a what am I thinking of? Like a ramp that this lancet sits in that we will just winch up, and it is like made to absolutely just drop this thing vertically as quickly into the sea as we can.
Okay.
And it's greased.
Ooh, a slippery ramp.
Just putting your ramp grease. I want to flashback to Urich applying the ramp grease.
Especially designed, so a home proprietary blended ramp grease.
Our stoner put together a ramp. Great. Can't wait for this.
You built a sweet kicker.
You're a leech. You said that's the kind of thing you do.
Yeah, so I could tinker this up. Yeah.
You put grease in it, which is you've specifically made yourself a chemical leech as your professional specialty. So I'm gonna only make you take one stress, and I'm gonna say that you have like this perfect launching system. And is this happening now?
If everyone else is ready,
we gotta say the magic word, and we are silent.
Can I use I have the Sephiroth Sidarim.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use some of like the magical binding rituals that are enclosed within to help us do this more effectively?
I think that you actually realize, Elazar, that not only can you have to. Because as the lancet starts to slide down toward the water, suddenly those stars out in the sea, you see them start to rise up out of the billows.
Oh, no.
And between the waves, each of those stars like form sets of eyes.
I hate this.
And now humanoid forms are walking between the waves toward you, and the grinders are like, everybody's still silenced by the potion, but they're like, because like these huge like dark humanoid forms made of water are approaching from every possible direction. And that is when it slides down the little winch thing that Urich made, and it goes bloop into the water, and now the lancet is headed toward the body of Sitara. What are people going to do now? The danger that I am telegraphing is strange constructs of water with stars for eyes that are now climbing aboard the ship.
I mean, we got to bail. And Elazar has to start the
I want to like put the Sephiroth Sidarim down on the deck of the ship in front of this contraption.
Count it as part of your loadout, but yes. Yep. You place it on the deck of the ship, and you begin intoning the ritual.
I will. I'm gonna smear some alkahest on the deck, which negates that silence, and I'll snap my fingers for whoever was going to say that magic word. Violet.
Very good. Yeah,
it's gonna be Elazar.
I want an action roll, and poor Violet, you can help.
I will.
But Elazar, what action are you using?
Could I use study since I'm using the book?
Yeah, you've been studying for weeks to be able to chant some of these kind of like incantations and wards inside the Sephiroth. Yeah. So yes, you may.
I'm like combining a rite of binding against these evil entities that are swarming us with this ritual to bind the demon below.
Sure. And Violet's holding the book to the deck and kind of turning the pages as the water crashes down, you know?
Right. Boy. Okay, so this is desperate. And the reason it's desperate is that if you fail, or even if you get a complication, these things get through your wards and they start hurting you. All right. I'm going to be clear because it's a desperate action. That means that they're going to hurt you guys in ways that are really kind of bad. You're going to start taking harm.
Sure. Okay. I guess I'll take stress to give myself a better chance.
Sure, push it.
Could I give them stress?
Yeah, I was going to say I can help with
everybody. I think actually, take a stress. And
everybody is like.
Wait, let me make sure teamwork you can do it with like. I think everybody can do it if they
want. Like Elazar's down on the deck with Violet helping him with the book, and Bina Jaffe's surrounding them with a gun. And
are you attuning to the ghost field to do this, or is this something different?
This is something different.
This is something different.
All right, cool.
So yeah, take one stress, Urich, and you throw down that alkahest, and you're like, no! As the thing goes bloop into the water. And Bina, are you taking stress to help them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bina,
How
I
much
think
stress do I take to push myself? Sorry.
2.
you take 2, and then they're each taking a stress and adding a die for you. So that's plus 3 die so far. Bina, what are you doing to kind of like help during all of this?
I am looking up what electroplasmic ammunition can do here.
I think it can blow up some water monsters.
Can that hit some water monsters right now?
I mean, ostensibly they have some sort of magical component, so absolutely, right? I mean, like, if they show up really brightly, these kind of weird underwater stars in the spirit mask, then they must have some component that would be vulnerable or something to your electrostatic ammunition. So, so you just start
Electroplasmic. I wish it was electricity.
So yeah, you start firing your plasmic ammunition at them. So gunshots are suddenly going off. It went from silent to like gunshots going off.
But they have gunshots going off too.
That's true. No better time.
Let's see.
So I'm doing study. That's 2 dice. I'm pushing myself. That's an extra die. And then these guys are each giving me 1 die.
Yeah, you get 1 from each of us. That's 3 more.
So I'm rolling 6 dice.
So one thing you should know about your electroplasmic ammunition, Bina, is that it always lets the spirit wardens know that you've been doing something.
Ooh, and so that is good to know.
Now I'm going to mitigate it a little bit because you're all the way out in the ocean. You're not in the middle of Duskfall.
Sure.
So normally let's see. It says this ammunition is especially reactive in the ghost field. I'm making a 4-segment clock called Attention from the Spirit Wardens. And
Super didn't know that. Sorry, team. I didn't know this was an alarm.
Because you are all the way out in the void sea, I'm only going to tick 1 segment.
It's also super necessary. If ever there was a time to use these.
Here we go. What an amazing, like, you guys are all like back to back. Poor Violet's turning pages. Urich is like fucking throwing down chemicals and operating this like winch that releases the lancet. Bina's blowing away water creatures. And here comes our roll, which is desperate, but will have the standard effect, if it works, of keeping these creatures out, not destroying them, keeping them out.
I've rolled 3 1s, 2 2s, and 1 6.
Great. Bina, like a couple get in before Elazar like gets into like the really powerful portion of his spell. A couple of them get in, and Bina, you blast them to pieces like with your electroplasmic ammunition. And somewhere a spirit warden in a room goes. And then Elazar,
electroplasmic ammunition.
Attention! Electroplasmic ammunition has been used. Meanwhile, finally, Elazar, you finish the ward part of your spell, and suddenly these things kind of smash up against this sort of like invisible screen that you've put up. They're still there, but they are now like they now like can't get through to you at present. So there is one last thing left to do, I believe, which is to say that activation word and make sure that it goes into Satara. But it doesn't mean that the score is over, because now I'm going to look up one more thing. The 2 ships were having a fight. Let's see who won it.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Guys.
Okay, I know who won it. You don't need to worry about it at present. So the activation word, should there be anything else involved in that? I don't know. I mean,
actually,
I think the activation word the activation word is the final thing. You have to set the key frequency of the lancet so it goes through the dimensional frequency of the demon as it hits pay dirt, like exactly as it hits pay dirt. Who's making that roll and who's going to make it well?
It's not me. I thought it was part of the ritual we were just doing.
Yeah.
It's not. There's one last step.
Sure.
Now you might say, Game Master, you're giving me double jeopardy.
Yeah.
You're fuck you, Game Master. Well, guess what? That's just how high the tier of these enemies are. And I want one more roll. Final roll to activate it right as it slides into the body of the demon.
I roll so poorly, but it has to be Violet. She's close to the she's looking at the book. She's the only one.
I'll help.
Yes, you may.
I'll take a stress and
would anybody else like to help?
Fill up my stress.
I genuinely don't know how she helps in this moment, but I can try.
Maybe just like holding her up. Maybe
Jaffe. I think Bina Jaffe.
The word.
I think Bina Jaffe can help just by being like magnificent, killing monsters, and Violet being like
she's got a long coat.
Could be like Bina someday.
Yeah, I'll give you
She's got a
dice.
Freeze frame, gray hair rippling in the wind, long coat flapping behind her, pew pew, long carved handled rifle.
Hell yeah!
And you're like, whoa, cool.
And the bat.
And that's how she helps. And I've got a big chubby bat that's hooked around my neck, like it hangs like a cape, but it's not a cape. It's a fat animal.
So it's gonna be two from me, one from Bina, one from Urich.
I'll give you a dice.
All right, take stress. You guys are going to be so stressed.
I'm so stressed already.
I'm maxed out on stress.
I'm way more stressed than any 12-year-old should ever be. So this is 5 die total.
Here we go.
I mean, her dead sister is actually trying to kill her.
One by one. That's a 1. That's another 1. That's a 2.
There's 2 dice left.
That's a 4. And that's another 4.
Oh no.
So a 4 is a success with a consequence, a partial success. So here's everybody took all that stress for it to happen. So here's what happens.
We saved the world, but we're late for dinner.
No, if only it was that easy. You are certain, poor Violet. You intone the activation word. You're kind of in tune to the ghost field. You're feeling like the proper moment. You say the word. Suddenly, the lancet cycles through all these dimensional frequencies and drills down into the body of something beneath, and you hear this screech like reverberate through the air and through the ocean, and it's like it makes your noses bleed and it makes your ears bleed, and the grinders are like ah! And you see one of their teeth come out because this scream, it's like nails on a chalkboard times exponential factor of 1,000,000, and everybody is like in pain, and that's when the ocean
I've created a monster. I don't know what I did.
Ocean swells horribly, and the entire ship is like suddenly brought up onto like a giant precipice of water. By the way, the strange water creatures are gone because the ocean just suddenly throws you up into the air, and the entire ship is about to crash down and maybe even topple over. You know that the waters of the Void Sea are unbelievably cold and inhospitable to human life. You know that the ship is about to crash, possibly overturning completely. What do you do?
One of my equipment is a fine bottle of whiskey.
Hey,
like a time.
Can I try to rally these grinders as like Sons of Scotland, like right the ship or something?
Yeah, certainly. What action are you going to use?
Well, it sounds like sway is like a long-term.
It's more like, look, we can make a deal here. It's not. I mean, I'll allow it certainly, but I think it's going to have limited effect in this particular like in the moment case. Limited effect isn't awful. It means that
I mean, I don't think
you'll survive this, because I can tell you that this is a desperate action no matter what, and it's going to create harm if you don't succeed.
Could I do a flashback?
Let me do a flashback.
Okay.
I haven't flashed.
Cool.
Let Bina flash.
Let me flash. I want to flash.
What does it cost to flash?
It costs stress,
X
and the
amount of
stress is
stress.
based on what flashback they describe. So, Bina, describe your flashback for me.
Can it be as simple as just like I packed a floaty, like not like water wings,
That saves you.
but just like we have a rowboat or something that's like a backup boat.
You know what? For that flashback, I am going to say 1 stress, because you guys had a crappy boat earlier, remember, in the last session?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, hey, bring it along just in case.
Yeah. So that's the
overboat.
flashback. The
Hilarious.
flashback is Bina going, like, everybody's like all loaded up, and Bina looks back at the shitty boat and is like,
I like it.
you know what? Bring it aboard anyway. 1 stress, and or should we let the moment play out at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
The entire ship capsizes. It starts to be ripped apart by the forces of like this incredible sort of, talk about Charybdis, this giant whirlpool that's created by your ritual and by piercing the hide of Satara beneath the waves. But a small boat rides the waves away. It's like a little like dinghy rides the wave away.
It's the dinger on the side of it. It says DINGHER, which is for exactly Harlan in chat. But that's
The dinger.
The dinger.
it's a dinger called the dinger. A dinghy called the dinger.
There's just one danger left.
Oh, great.
Because
of course, why not?
as your dinghy kind of like, you see that like the 2 Leviathan hunters have weathered these waves a lot better than your little cutter. I mean, they just kind of crashed against them, and you can still hear fighting and the crack of guns aboard them. But I can tell you that as you guys like are taking your dinghy like past the Charybdis, you see this man hanging off of the side. He looks Severosi. He's covered in tattoos. He has like long black plaited hair, and he's carrying an enormous harpoon, and he's hanging like way down off the side. Because I told you, it feels like it's like 100 feet up to that deck. He's like 50 feet down, and he sees you guys. There wasn't any way to avoid being seen this time. He sees you, and he's raising his harpoon up, and he's saying, "For Satara! Praise Satara!" And he's throwing his harpoon.
Can I
Can I use my blowgun and fire a syringe of a drug into him?
Well, if this thing's in the air, shooting this
Is it already in the air?
Well, let's see. I think that any kind of action you guys choose could possibly mitigate the situation. It will once again be a desperate action because this guy doesn't miss. So any of you could try to handle this. You could even try a group action where like all of you do something, and then the leader of the action takes stress for everybody that rolls a 1 to 3. So you could do that, or you could just or just one of you could act. But you've got to do something about this guy.
1, 2, 3.
I mean, is he in blowgun range?
Yeah, sure. Let's say 50 feet. Is that blowgun range?
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
You know what? No, it's not. It's limited effect with a blowgun. Limited effect with a blowgun. Limited effect. Limited effect.
I hope you wake up your daughter.
Limited effect.
I can shoot the guy. I've got my rifle out.
Yeah, I was gonna try something neat, but never mind.
I can and would like to, if I can, use my special ability, Compel, and I would like to cause a nearby ghost to appear, force a nearby spirit to appear and obey the command I give it, and I would like for Lovely Rose to try to appear and take this harpoon shot. She's going to be the one.
Okay.
Can I not shoot a ghost?
Well, I think she just appears and she's like, here I am. Hit me,
sure.
you know. Maybe even
Okay.
skipping around all terrifying.
If that doesn't work for some reason, Elazar has a thing to do, but we'll try that first.
Okay, we're going to try this. Is everybody agreeing to try this? Look, we don't have any time. It's happening. So Bina is about to shoot, and so is Urich. But before you guys do that, poor Violet stands up and she calls out to Lovely Rose. And are you pushing? Or are you doing anything special?
Nope. I am just going to use compel. She is going to obey my command, which is to look like such a harpoon target. Like, ooh, outside of a whale, this guy's never seen something he wants to hit.
Okay, this is desperate. This is desperate, but I'm going to allow it to have a standard effect if you succeed.
Okay.
Okay. Go, Rose, go.
So is this just me rolling a tune?
This is your special playbook ability. So could you please just read what compel says so we make sure we get it?
It says you can attune to the ghost field to force a nearby spirit to appear and obey a command you give it. You are not supernaturally terrified by a spirit you summon or compelled, though your allies may be.
Do you want a dose of Quicksilver to help you with this?
I would love that.
It's bad for you.
Love it. Even better.
Then I'll take that blowgun and syringe, and I'll give poor Violet one right in the neck of Quicksilver, which gives you another dice to attune.
So Urich's like, I got a shot. And he's like, I don't. And then he just goes and puts it into poor Violet's neck. And poor Violet, you may now make that attune roll with an extra die.
Okay.
And let's see how it goes.
You do suffer 2 harm afterward. So.
Oh, come on. What?
I told you it hurts you.
2 harm.
I told you.
I thought you meant in the same way that cigarettes hurt me.
A level 2 harm? Oh, boy. Okay, here we go.
Jeez, you're lucky I just rolled 3 6s. Holy shit.
Okay, so he throws he screams like rise, Satara, rise. He throws his harpoon and all of you are like and it hits someone in the boat with you and you look over and it's Lovely Rose and she's like and like blood comes out of her mouth and she's like and she falls down and she seems to have like a body and like force around her, right? Like substance right now. There's like a dead body on your boat that looks like Lovely Rose. And he's just screaming like demon chants as your dinghy starts to pull away off into the night. And when you look down again, Lovely Rose is gone. But a single harpoon, a very nasty looking one, lays in your dinghy. My last question to you is this dinghy, it doesn't hold as many people as that boat did.
Oh no.
Did you save any members of the grinders, do you think?
I think we tried.
I would try to save whoever I could.
Definitely.
Okay. And your crit Jordan, means that you don't take the level 2 harm from the Quicksilver. You basically burn it all off in like this big, like attune, like flare up, right? Like it's like it goes into your bloodstream and you're like, why? Like you just lit up for a second. Like, yeah. So
hell yeah.
If you saved a member of the grinders, or 2, let me know what action you did to do that. Because they are like in the water, like kind of like freezing to death. You can kind of see them going.
Could I use Prowl to look for them?
Yeah.
See them in the water, right?
Prowl would help you get them. I mean, like Prowl wouldn't be looking so much as it would be like reaching far out and pulling them out of the boat. Finesse would help you too.
To grab a guy?
Yeah, that would be like Elazar, like using a stick or something.
Okay. Yeah, Elazar's going to try and get one of these guys.
Great. So max 2 can fit in the boat is what.
Let's see how many can fit in the. Okay, so here's max 2 can fit in the boat without making it go a lot more slowly and be a lot more heavy.
Sure.
Do you guys? But you you see 4 of them out there. You see them out there.
I think we should let's save as many as we can. I have a plan to get us back home.
Did you
I rolled
just
double
crit, Aaron?
one. No, I rolled double ones.
Oh no!
One of the
Am I going over?
grinders tremors sinks beneath the waves.
Oh, she's
And
gone.
as she sinks, like she's like, you see her hand going like this, and then you see like a black hand made of water go.
Oh no!
How did other people do with their rescue attempts?
I will attempt to. I'll use
Oh,
prowl,
man.
but I'm gonna throw like a rope. Like I have like either climbing gear or not climbing gears too.
Climbing gear, you mark that off. That counts, and you can throw like some specific stuff that would allow people to climb up and down out of a dinghy out into the water.
There you go. I'll use climbing gear.
So for that reason, I'm going to make your roll a little better. I'm sorry I didn't say what Elazar's was. We just skipped to someone's drowning. But this time I'm going to say
sure I was going
that
overboard on
this
that
time you will have great effect with your climbing gear and your rope.
Great.
But this is risky. You could still miss, and
Sure.
it would be bad.
Okay.
one. Those are
So I'm
accidentally
using.
Aaron.
So does that mean I use an extra dice? What happens, or do I just use what prowl?
Yeah, just use a prowl. Yeah, I know I helped your effect with your.
You helped the effect. Got it. Okay. I rolled a 5.
That means a success with consequences.
Great.
And you get Modche back aboard your little dinghy,
Ah.
but he is like going into hypothermia and freezing to death, and he might go into shock.
He's the worst one.
Well, look.
Is
He's
anybody?
Come on, Bina.
He was closest. I can use what I know from hanging out with Melvier to try and make this guy. Can I put a bat on him? Can I put a big fat bat in his lap?
To warm
Can
him
I
up.
just be like, here, hold this, and
As
like
a-
wrap
as
a
a-
bat around him?
Oh, so Barrow's also a comfort animal
Yeah,
I
he's
think
not
he's
particularly useful.
that can
He's
stave
a
off.
good
animal.
He's
That can
a-
stave off the effects of shock. Okay,
He's a support bat.
tell me what action you're using to help him.
This would be gosh, I don't know.
Guys,
to put
how-
my bat on him? I have no idea.
pick something, because this is going to
yeah.
affect how the grinders react to how you use their troops. If all of their guys are dead or
Isn't-
fucked up, they're
I-
going to be pissed
Isn't
at you.
Urich
Can
leech? Can't you like do doctor stuff to him?
It's not
Yeah, you
dumb,
got some like
no,
smelling
it's
salts.
It's like mad science shit.
Yeah,
I could
but
make a fire. I could use some fire oil to make.
Don't make a fire on this boat right now.
No, let's not run
Don't make a fire on this
Yeah,
boat.
but I mean, I can do it on like a specific item. Like we don't. It doesn't have
Sure.
to be like on the boat itself. But
Can I use
I could use hunt because this is my hunting pet, or I could use study because like I hung out with Melvier a lot and I'm a professor.
I'll allow you to use hunt, and I'm going to say that like when you are out in the cold hunting someone across the city
Yeah,
or through the, it's like a survival skill,
check,
right?
yeah, for sure.
You
can I? Or after Rachel's roll,
And we know that when people are like freezing, if you put like a warm body against them, that does work.
Yeah,
So let's
the thing,
try
you know?
hunt. And this is going to be desperate because it's a really weird thing you're trying. And if it fails, he is going to kind of suffer permanent effects, which could hurt your reputation with the grinders. So it's a desperate position, but it will have the standard effect of warming him enough that he doesn't, pass out from hypothermia.
I'll roll for hunt.
Oh no! Where did the dice go?
Okay. A lot of things fell.
Yeah.
I rolled a 6.
yeah.
There you go. Barrow. What a useful pet.
Here.
Barrow's wings stretch way out and they go around Modche like a blanket.
Crazy.
And he's sort of face to face with him, and they're like,
Did you guys? Yeah, they're like right there, and Barrow's like going. to his nose. Okay. I always end up playing animals in every stream I do. Every stream I end up going like, okay.
What animal was that?
I think you know. Urich, were you going to try to rescue one of the grinders?
Yes. Can I prowl and use a rope from my climbing gear?
You certainly may.
Great.
You'll have great effect.
Oh God.
A good God.
Can I get a? Yeah. Can I get a? Do you have a devil's bargain?
Oh boy, you already
no, that happens
rolled.
before I roll. Never
I'm
mind.
sorry.
The best I got was a 4.
Oh, that's success
No,
with
it's a
consequences.
All right.
And what is the consequence? You pull Staines back aboard the ship, and Staines is like, "Oh, thank you." And for just a moment, Urich, and you're the only one that sees this, like Staines' eyes light up like stars for a moment, and like a little bit of that black water kind of gets sucked back into his mouth.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Is anybody else trying to save a member of the Grinders?
We've got one more.
Yeah, there's one more out there. I didn't say who it was. This person's called Brick. He was the muscle.
Okay, I am going to. I can try to get Brick back in.
They call him Brick because he throws bricks through windows and then steals everything in the window.
That's
Subtle.
Can I use one of these guys' ropes, or did those ropes break when we?
No, they don't break, but this is all happening at the same time, so that's why you might not be able to use them.
Can I use a ghost hook to help someone, or would it just simply pierce their flesh?
You may use a ghost hook to help somebody. It is still a hook.
I'm gonna try to use that kind of like a lifeguard, one of those lifeguard things that they hook the kids with.
You'll have great effect if you do that.
Great.
And in fact, your position is controlled, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay, great. So, I guess I can roll. Maybe can I use attune to kind of feel for somebody in the darkness?
Yeah, you could use a ghost hook with a tune. That would make sense.
Okay, so it's just 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long that Quicksilver lasts. Is it like an ongoing effect, or is it a single dose?
I said he burned it all off and took no ill effects from it.
Great.
5.
5. That's a success with consequences, and this is the consequence. You pull Brick out of the water, and you can see the ghost hook is making him go, but then all of a sudden, like all of these like water entities like go out of his mouth, out of his ears, like they just are kind of repulsed by your ghost hook, and you pull Brick out of the water and into the boat, and Brick takes harm. That is the difference. It's still an electroplasmic kind of weapon, and so Brick is kind of like burned all over. But maybe that's better than being possessed by spirits.
Brick.
I'm gonna tell Violet to use that ghost hook on Staines. I'll be like, he needs one. He needs one.
I hated that.
Burn this boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to literally just in turning around to talk to Urich, she's going to accidentally touch the other guy with the ghost hook, and this will be a wreck roll.
I'll make
because
sure
she's so
that
clumsy.
accident happens.
Go for it.
I love it.
Wow, this is getting really Abbott and Costello. Like, whoa!
They're gonna meet the ghost. They're gonna
Don't
meet
cross the
Wolfman.
stream.
That's a 3. I rolled a 3.
Oh God.
Well, listen, it's such a smart idea. And Urich, I don't want to like penalize you for having a smart idea. So here's what happens. Poor Violet smashes into the other guy to Staines with the ghost hook. Burns Staines really badly. The entities pour out of Staines' mouth and splash back down into the water. And now the consequence of failing will be that we will roll a fortune roll to see if Staines survives the electrocution. 1. Staines dies.
Okay.
Staines dies.
Staines is my favorite.
Oops.
Yikes.
Tell me
2
about
out
this.
of 4
Tell
ain't
me
bad, right? That's the song.
pretty good, actually. Turns out half of our crew is gone, and so our crew of grinders. And how are you getting? You said you had an idea for how to get back into the city, Urich. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I want to use Shadow Essence, which creates a cloud of unnatural pitch darkness. So our little ship will just be a cloud of darkness on the ocean.
Awesome.
And hopefully not be seen unless somebody's basically right in our way.
That could have helped earlier too.
I didn't find it in the book earlier.
So the final thing I'll narrate is as a cloud of darkness goes by the earlier Ministry of Preservation ships and slides back. Yes, sir.
Nah, never mind.
Okay, slides back into the Bay of Duskfall, past the Electro Spark Towers and back. And then the final thing that we're going to have happen is one of the leaders of the Grinders. I believe his name is Hutton. Let me make sure I get this right. Do I have that right?
We also have spent
That
the
sounds
trip
right.
back in explaining to the Grinders what happened to their.
Sure, you can Hutton. Yes.
Well,
You can explain all you want, but he's tier 2. The Grinders. You lost half of his guys, so I'm taking a die away.
I'm gonna explain to the ones that survived. Like, you saw what happened. They were possessed. Like, we tried to save them.
well, no, it was an accident.
Now I'm rolling one die
Okay.
to see if you get a +1 with the Grinders or a -1 with the Grinders. By the way, the Grinders are who you pay up to. You don't want a -1 with them. And does this feel unfair? Does it feel harsh? Well, the life of a scoundrel is a harsh one. And another old saying, perhaps it is worded a little differently in Scotland, is no good deed goes unpunished. And so there is a chance that for your troubles in saving the fucking city, you will lose status with your gang you pay up to. And here we go. It's a 5. You succeed with a consequence. Success with a consequence.
He didn't like Stain anyway.
I'm going to say success with a consequence means you don't lose status with them, but you don't get the +1. They are still kind of thinking about whether they like the Kenahora or if the Kenahora are a bunch of dangerous, loose cannons who aren't helping the cause of Scotland.
Aren't we all thinking that?
Yeah.
And that.
Jeez.
So Hutton is like, keep an eye on this Kenahora. I don't know if I trust them yet. And his soldiers, who are horribly covered in burns, are like, and
One is just covered in bat hair.
yeah, one still has he's like pulling hair out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And
Got
that
big
is how
lipstick marks all over him.
that is how tonight's story ends.
No, boy.
Congratulations. That was a tough score. You guys made real smart decisions the
That could have
whole way
gone worse,
through.
right?
Very proud of us. That
That could have gone worse.
could have gone so much worse. Just
I
shy
mean-
of swimmingly,
Yeah.
but we've
You guys were great.
We've
Assuming
definitely-
that what we did was good and didn't wake up.
I was going to say we don't know anything about the
Yeah.
consequences of this,
Well,
so
we
we don't know if it
definitely
worked.
we definitely didn't level like a village with a golem this time, so I feel better about that. We did kill at least 2 guys. Maybe more.
Next time you
Yeah,
will
Elazar
receive
tried to save a guy and hit him in the head with an oar.
you will receive a payout for this. I have to figure out why you're being paid out, but you are being paid out for this in some way because you risked life and limb to save the city. That's got to be worth money somehow. So we'll figure out how in a little bit.
Just in retrospect, like, could I have resisted that, shocking that guy to death?
Yes, you
Yeah,
could.
probably
Even if
should
it's
have.
for somebody else, you can
Probably
do
should
that.
have. Should have done that.
Once again, resistance rolls did
Yeah.
not come up because
Yeah.
these guys very carefully try to avoid kind of going one-on-one with a lot of the enemies, which is smart in this case. So thank you guys again. I want to thank my incredible players, Rachel Weeks, Andrew ORVEDAHL, Aaron Urist, and Jordan Dahl. You guys were fantastic.
Thank you.
Can't wait to have the Kenahora back again. And in the meantime, me and the viewers will be trying to create all kinds of problems for you in the faction turn.
When you come back, you'll be living in a ghetto.
Yeah, next thing you know, you're in a ghetto, and I believe one of the clocks that are up for voting on this time is give poor Violet a very bad haircut. So I think there are bangs in your future. We can do anything to you.
Oh boy!
All right, I'm going to say goodbye to my players for now, and I'm going to do bye, guys. Thank you. Find them on socials. Watch Better Than Heroes. Find them on the socials. Tell them how much you love them because they were fantastic, guys. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., Vampires of Pittsburgh Lockdown returns. We're going to play more with our incredible cast: Ashley Birch, Ross Bryant, and Abu Salim. And that is 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, Easter Sunday. In the words of Secret GM Clinton Trucks, what better day to rise from the dead? We are dark all week because I'll be working with the Glass Cannon on some special stuff. But Blood and Blades will return next Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific, and you will get to see the Weird Sisters return with some new additions. Becca Scott will be back with new recruits, Jasmine Bular and Josephine McAdam as our crew of assassins, the Weird Sisters. Very happy to announce that cast, and I can tell you that they're going to be goddamn fantastic. And as I just mentioned before, Jessica Michelle and Nicole Amy are still part of our cast. It's just scheduling things mean that they might have to show up on some different shows and maybe come back to Blades at a later date. Guys, Stream of Blood is also a podcast, and the feed now contains all 30 episodes of the first chronicle of Vampires of Pittsburgh. Episodes of Lockdown will follow along with episodes of our other series. Find it on the podcatcher of your choice. Subscribe, download, rate, and review so people know the cool stuff we're doing over here. It really does help. Blades in the Dark is by John Harper, published by Evil Hat Studios, and the music you heard at the top is by Axel Kazis Taylor and Clinton Trucks. Thank you for reminding me. The musical stylings of Clinton Trucks were part of this tonight. The absolute best way to support the work we do here is by subscribing on Twitch and spreading the word. Tell people what we're up to. Subscribe and comment on YouTube. We're on Instagram and Twitter as Stream of Blood. We're on Reddit at r/Stream of Blood. And the Discord is the best place to talk to us. Stream of Blood, Server of Blood. This is where you can be part of our Blood and Blade faction turns if you are a subscriber. We're also on Facebook. Why? Because we want the Russians to win. I don't have time, unfortunately, for comments tonight, but I'll stay a little later for Vampires tomorrow. I want to thank Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks, who puts up with me constantly forgetting to turn on my show notes. Thank you, Clinton Trucks. I want to thank social media manager Megan Arch. I want to thank Matt Moynihan, our YouTube content producer. Stream of Blood logo was created by Garrett Ross. And our opening animation is by Urich himself, the Leech, Andrew ORVEDAHL. Thank you guys, and good night.